Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC Vegas 86, Hermansson versus Pyfer. Yeah, I know I'm late. I'm very sorry. I wanted to record this last night, but it was I don't know why, I was just tired of shit. So I just said, fuck it, I'll push off till today, and I did. I don't want to do that often. I'm not going to do that again anytime soon. I don't think. I'll try to not do that. I fucking hate doing that. It ate at me all fucking night. But whatever. All that matters is I'm doing it now, and so yeah, it not exactly how I planned, but whatever. Let's just it's not like this was a good card anyway, so I'm not like I missed out recapping something good. It was a pretty bad card, so you can that's why I was not super hell-bent on getting this recap out on time, because trust me, there's not much to talk about, so whatever. But enough of me rambling. I'll try and I'll get back on schedule next week on the recap, and breakdowns will always be out Friday 1 p.m. So, but enough of that. Let's recap this card. Before I do, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, let's recap some fights. Yeah, like I said, this card did suck, I would say. I thought I was going to be able to hang with Walker and Goliath for card of the year. It's barely hanging with Imavov fucking Delonte. It might be the worst card of the year so far. It was a long card. Very few positive about it. A lot of mid or forgettable. Yeah, so, whatever. Let's talk about the card. 14 fights in total, and actually really only 13, because I'm not even gonna, for the first fight of the night between Daniel Marcos and Aoriqileng, I really got nothing to say. It ended in a no contest. I feel bad for Marcos, because he was gonna win that fight. It was halfway, it was about the end of round 2, he was clearly winning. And for Aoriqileng, he's the real winner of this, as they even said on the broadcast, because he was gonna lose this fight. So whatever, I feel bad for Marcos. Hopefully he gets the fight booked pretty soon so he can get back in there. He was looking really good, and yeah, hope Marcos gets a fight, because he deserves a win, because he kind of got screwed over, but whatever. So, first fight of the night ending in no contest was, I guess, a sign of things to come. So, well, let's start with the first fight of the night that ended in a finish, or a real winner, I should say. We had two featherweight for our first real fight of the night between Hyder, Amil versus Fernie, Garcia. Yeah, this went pretty much how I expected. Fernie Garcia is a joke of a fighter, and he got fucking dominated. Round 1, Hyder beat the piss out of him en route to a 10-8 round. The only thing Garcia did was land one decent hook that stumbled Amil a small bit, but besides that, and he got Amil's back for 30 seconds, didn't do shit, so I don't even think those are relevant to the fight. So, clear 10-8 round, and then in round 2, Amil just said, I'm going to finish this fight, blitzed him, beat the shit out of him more, and got to finish about 2 minutes, and yeah, not really shocked. I'm a little shocked Fernie did get finished, since Fernie has shown to be pretty tough in his fights, but yeah, he definitely the fight was up. They could have stopped in round 1. I think you were being really generous letting him go out there for round 2, and it went as good as you think it did. So, yeah, I'll talk about Fernie first, since I have very little to say. All I have to say is, he sucks, and he needs to be cut. He's tough, I'll give him that much, but yeah, again, he sucks. 0-4, this was his last chance, which he shouldn't even have got, because 3 L's in a row should be an instant cut. But they gave him one more chance, and he embarrassed himself. He didn't embarrass himself, he just fought like Fernie Garcia, which is a bum. So, yeah, time to cut him. I actually think they will cut him, which is rare. when I say someone should get cut, they usually don't get cut. But in this case, I don't know how you don't cut Fernie. 0-4 in the UFC, just got his ass handed to him. Yeah, it's over. And then to talk about Hyder, Amil, he looked super improved from the Contender Series. Like, he looked good on the Contender Series, but he looked even better here. Like, he fought calmer, but he also fought really well. Like, his preciseness on his shots, his killer instinct looked great. He just fought really well. And in a fight, he should fight well. And Fernie Garcia, anyone should be. And to be honest with how he looked, I would have loved to see how he would have done against Bagdasaryan. That would have been a really fun fight, but that's not here nor there, is it? So, I'm very impressed with Amil's debut. He really... Yeah, I say the most impressive debut out of the three we had on the card. He was easily the most impressive. He looked really good, and in a fight he should look good. And against a borderline bantamweight moving up, he looked really impressive. So really good debut for Hyder. I wonder how he's gonna build on this, because he is 33 years old, which ain't the youngest, but he's only 9 fights into his career, so he's not taking a lot of damage. So I'm very impressed with his debut, and I'm very interested to see how he builds on it. So yeah. Only thing left to talk about is who they should fight next. For Hyder, Amil, well, really it's just Hyder, Amil. Again, Fernie needs to be cut. For Hyder, there are some decent options, I feel. No one on this page. Flip the beat. There's some good options for him, I feel. Austin Lingo's always there. Francis Marshall's always an option. Gabriel Santos is not a terrible option. Like, none of these are jumping out at me, though. I'm trying to find that one that screams. Looks Almeida, that's not terrible. Yeah, none of these are really screaming out to me as a fight to make. Maybe it is someone on this page, but I doubt it, because who the fuck would be on this page? Who's even into UFC? Yeah, I'm really having a problem finding a fight for Hyder, because again, I guess I'll go Lucas Almeida. I think that out of all of them, that's the one where I think, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll go with that. I think Almeida, 2 L's in a row, coming off of, a first round knockout to Fili. I think that makes sense. I think that'd be a good fight. Excuse me. And again, I think it makes sense for both. Lucas getting a big step down, and Amil getting a big step up. I think would make a lot of sense in both regards, and probably be a pretty fun fight. 2 lengthier featherweights. I think it'd be fun. So yeah, let's do that. Hyder, Amil versus Lucas Almeida. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it'd be a pretty fun fight. Let's do it. But yeah, not really anything left to say about this fight. It was a beating, which I expected, but I didn't, again, I'll say I did not expect a finish. I definitely expected him to get probably a 30-27, 29-28, but a 10-8 round 1 and a finish in round 2 is way better. So good for Hyder, really good debut for him. And who should he fight next? I like the idea of him versus Lucas Almeida. I think that'd be a very good fight, and book it. So yeah, nothing left to say. First fight of the night that had a real winner. It was good. That was one. It's sad that this was probably one of the few highlights of the card overall, because there were I'll talk about more at the end, but again, this card is really dry for just let alone we'll just take away good fights for moments. I'll continue on that statement later at the end in the outro, but you'll see real quick, there's very few moments. So whatever. Let's get to the second fight of the night in the light heavyweight division, which went the way I worried it would because I did not pick the winner of this fight. It's after our third fight of the night in the light heavyweight division between Bogdan Guskov versus Zach Pauga. This fight kind of went the way I worried it would, since I did pick Pauga. Pauga couldn't really get on the inside to grapple with him. When he did, he got pushed off very easily. And when he did try to strike with him, which was stupid, he got fucking annihilated. He got, like, eventually, like, halfway through the fight, Bogdan finally just landed that killer shot that hurt him. One or two more to put him out. It was it. Yeah, two low-level guys. It could have went either way. I thought Pauga was gonna be able to gas him out and hug him for the whole fight, but he did look like he was down to strike more than he should have been. He should have been trying to clinch ASAP because he's not a good striker and his chin has always been very weak. So his game plan here was definitely wrong. But yeah. I'll talk about Bogdan first, since he got the KO and the win. Good win. Get back on track after a very tough debut. I'm not sold on him yet because, again, it's Zach Pauga. But if he can build on top of this to get better, then I'll shut up about him. But right now, I'm not very impressed. Again, Zach Pauga, and yeah, let's see how he does in his next fight. I guess it will be the extent of what I will say on him. So let's just see how he does in the next fight. Of course he has good power in his hands. We know that, but we don't know if his gas tank's better. We don't know if he can wrestle. I don't think he can. So Anthony Smith over here has something to prove, and right now I'm not impressed that much. You knocked out Zach Pauga, so did Mohammed Usman. Ooh. So, yeah. And then for Zach Pauga, there's very little to say. He's not a UFC level fighter. Why he got a contract, I don't know. I still say the loser of Tough should not get a fucking contract because it makes no goddamn sense. But whatever. He's not a UFC level fighter. I don't even think they have the right weight class for him. I don't think he's a middleweight. He's not a heavyweight. He's not a light heavyweight. He's like a 190. Whatever fucking weight class that would be. He just looks wrong in whatever weight class he's in. He's either too small for heavyweight. He's still not that big for light heavyweight. So, and then if you look at his skill set, his striking is very subpar. His fucking chin is non-existent half the time. His gas tank's not great. His technique ain't good. His fight IQ's bad. He's just not a very good fighter, and I won't be shocked if before this year ends he's cut from the UFC because he's just not good. So I thought he was gonna be able to do the most basic shit and win how he did in the Jordan Wright fight, but he couldn't even do that. So yeah, he's just not a very good fighter, and I will be shocked if he makes it to the end of the year on the UFC roster. So yeah, not very much more to say. Just not a good fighter. But besides that, to talk about who they should fight next, because that's the only thing left to talk about, for Bogdan Guskov, I think there's probably some good options for him, since now getting his first career UFC win. Let's see who we have on deck. Bolaji would be fun. Bukauskas would be interesting. Devin Clark coming off a shit performance, which we'll talk about later. Who knows what Jimmy Crute's up to right now. That Bukauskas fight makes some sense, or even that Bolaji fight, but I'd rather see Bolaji get built up fighting maybe a shittier fighter than fighting Bogdan. So I guess Bukauskas is the fight that I think makes the most sense, because I'm not really seeing anything else I'm a big fan of. So yeah, we'll go Modestus Bukauskas for Bogdan Guskov. I think that would make a lot of sense. It's a little bit of a step up, and yeah, I think it'd be a very interesting stylistic matchup. So let's do it. And then for Zach Pauga, if he who the fuck could he fight? Damn, like at this, like, light heavyweight ain't a deep division, so there's very little options for who he could fucking fight. He most likely they'll use him for debut fodder to, like, I know this guy got a contract. I'm trying to think who else. Like, not many people came in off the contender series this year for light heavyweight. I'm most likely, like I said, he'll be debut fodder for, let's say, this dude, or he can fight. Yeah, probably that's the best option because, like, everyone else is either booked or it's like, why? So yeah, I'll say he'll probably fight this Magomed Gadzhishalav. I said that wrong, but yeah, I think that probably makes most sense. So let's do it. Yeah, not really much more to say about this fight. It was a nice KO. It was a cool visual, but it was two bad fighters, and I have not really said a lot about either. So, yeah, enough about this fight. Who should they fight next? I like Bogdan Guskov versus Modestas Bukauskas, and I like Zach Pauga versus Magomed, whatever the fuck his long name is, who's making his debut off the contender series. So, yeah, I think those make sense. Guskov and Modestas. Let's see how Bogdan does in a reasonable step up, and Pauga is good cannon fodder to a young guy, as we see here. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Good KO for Guskov. That's about it. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the night in the welterweight division, and this fight's pretty decent. A lot of, I guess, controversy for some reason, even though the judges got it right, but you know how people are. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the decision in a moment. But we head to our fourth fight of the night, which was a pretty okay fight between Max Griffin versus Jeremiah Wells. This fight could have been way better. Griffin definitely respected Wells' power too much, and it definitely showed, especially earlier in the fight. Later in the fight, he did kind of relax on the respect, but he did respect him a lot in the early rounds. In round one, it was very close. It could have went either way, and that's really the deciding round of the fight. I gave to Max Griffin. I think the late takedown gave him the round. So I definitely give Max round one. Round two was definitely Jeremiah's round. Easily the best round of the fight for him. And round three was all Max Griffin. Wells was very tired, and Max was just able to outstrike him. So it all comes down to round one. And I think the judges got it right here. I definitely think Max did get this win. Sal D'Amato just fucking hates Max Griffin. We know that by now. So, yeah, it was a decent fight, and I knew it was going to be controversy of whoever they scored for, because if they gave it to Wells, they got it wrong. If they gave it to Max, people are going to call robbery somehow, so whatever. It was an okay fight. That could have been better, but again, Max did respect Wells' power, as you should, but in the same breath, he took a lot of good shots. I don't know if he even got dropped. Like, he ate a lot of shots from Jeremiah, especially fresh Jeremiah. So, respect to Max for taking those fucking bombs to the head. But, yeah, man, very, a good performance by Max, good win. A win he did need. And he looked good. He looked good enough to get the win. And yeah, I'll talk about Max first. I still say one of the more underrated fighters in UFC. He is a very good fighter. Like, and this is a really good win for him. He definitely did need this. Like, and to be, if the judges got this fight right, he would be 6-1 in his last 6 or 7. I mean, like, that's insane. At 38 years old, he's still fighting at a very decent rate. Like, he does not look 38 years old when he's in there. He's fighting at a really, like, really well, a really good level. Like, the Morales fight, he did lose, but he didn't even get, like, beat up as bad as you would think. Neil Magny, a ranked dude, he most likely won that fight. So, and these fights he's won, he ripped his ear off, KO'd him, dominated Old Condit. This was, again, a shit decision, and he won this fight. So respect to Max, man. He's looked really impressive. Like, he's looked really good. And 38 years old to still be winning and beating guys like Jeremiah Wells and fucking, to beat a guy like Jeremiah Wells at 38 years old is impressive. Good win for Max, man. He's not the most exciting fighter, I'll give him that. I know that's a big reason why people do forget about him, but he's really good at fighting his style. So, and that's all you need to do, man. You just gotta fight your style and you'll win, and that's what Max is good at. So, yeah. And then for Jeremiah, the hype is definitely dying down on him. He's 37 years old, and I think the way the blueprint to beat him has been shown. He gasses really quickly, like, and to be honest, he should be on a 3-fight losing streak. So he's not a bad fighter, but again, he gasses easily. He has no idea how to take a punch. The Semelsberger fight showed that he does not like getting hit, because when he does get hit, he freaks the fuck out. So he's not a bad fighter at all, don't get me wrong. I like Jeremiah Wells. I think he's a very solid fighter, but he's 37 years old, and his skill set is getting exposed. He's a good wrestler. He's really strong, but he only can keep it up for like a round. So, like, and now really being in on a 3-fight losing streak, he really needs to bounce back in his next fight, or it's probably over. If he loses his next fight, especially convincingly, you can easily make the case for cutting him. So, like, I'll give him back for the doubt here. Of course you're not gonna fucking cut him right now. A very close fight and only losing 2 in a row on paper, fine, but he really needs to bounce back in a big way in his next fight, because like the Carlson Harris fight you kind of write off, because that was if he was winning that fight but got subbed, but Max and Semelsberger were close fights that he lost. So yeah, I don't know. Jeremiah is a fine fighter, just not the most skilled, I guess. Very powerful. But yeah, only thing left to talk about is who they should fight next. For Max Payne, right back in the win column, and he can get right back to fighting up the fucking list, up to the rankings. So who could he fight? There's some good options for him, I feel. Chaos is right there. You got Buckley, but I'm not a fan of that fight too much. Carlson Harris, Zaleski, Gunnar. I like that Gunnar Nelson fight. Gunnar ain't doing shit right now. Yeah, I'd like that Gunnar Nelson fight. I think that would make a lot of sense, since Gunnar is, again, not doing a fucking thing right now. He's just fucking vibing. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much else. Like, again, Chaos, but Chaos has not been looking too hot lately. Phil Rove coming off a joke of a fucking fight. You could have him fight another young guy like a Orlaba, or someone like a fucking Phil Rowe, or Gabriel Bonfim, but I'm not a giant fan of that. I do like that Gunnar Nelson fight, and I'm trying to think who else Gunnar could fight. I'm not really seeing many other options. Like, everyone else, I think there's better fights for people. So yeah. I'll probably say Max Griffin, Gunnar Nelson makes the most sense. I think that'd be a really good fight, and if Gunnar actually ever fucking fights, I think that would make the most sense. So, yeah, I think I'll rock with that. I think that does make a lot of sense. So, let's do it. Gunnar Nelson and fucking Max Griffin. I like the sound of that. And then for Jeremiah, now 2 really should be on a 3-fight losing streak. Who could he fight? There's some options. Where the fuck is he? Man, they have him low. Unless I missed him on the first page, which I might have. Did I pass him on this page? What? Oh, there he is. My bad. For Jeremiah, who could he fight? I like one fight I did see. Abubakar Nurmagomedov would be an interesting one. How his style would match with Abubakar's. That wouldn't be too bad. Or Jake Matthews is always a good test for a young dude. But I like that Bubakar fight. It's a decent-sized step down. A fight Wells should win on paper. So I like that fight. I think I would say do that fight. So, yeah, let's do that. Wells and a Bubakar sounds good to me. But, yeah, nothing really else to say about this fight. It was a decent fight, and the judges did get it right, so good job on that regard. And, who should they fight next? I like Max Griffin versus Gunnar Nelson. I'm thinking over that fight more. Yeah, maybe there's something better I'm not thinking of, but as of right now, that's what I'm feeling. So, I think that'd be a good fight, as I've said. And then I like Jeremiah Wells versus Abubakar Nurmagomedov. I think both make sense. Both would be good fights. Let's do it. Good win for Max Payne. Still fighting really well at 38 years old. After that, not gonna waste much time on this fight. It was boring and forgettable and disappointing, because I'm really disappointed in one of these two. And we have, in our fifth fight of the night, Marcin Prachnio versus Devin Clark. Long story cut very short. Prachnio outstruck Clark for 15 minutes. Clark couldn't get it to the ground. Clark couldn't get his shots off. He got just outclassed by Marcin Prachnio. Ew. Marcin, dude, you fucking suck. I thought with Devin Clark mainly because, dude, you fucking suck. Marcin Prachnio, you let outclass you. You suck. So, like, so disappointing. And Marcin Prachnio still sucks. Nothing else to say. It's like, I don't want to talk about this fight. It fucking blows. So, I don't want to talk about this fucking fight. Like, both these guys suck. These guys just suck. One guy is 35 years old and is a joke. One dude can't fucking win a fight if he can't wrestle you. They suck. Nothing else. Prachnio, feed to someone better. Clark, feed to... I did think of this when I was looking down the rankings for the Pauga fight. Devin Clark and Rodolfo Bolaji. I like that fight. Good build-up fight for Bolaji. Do it. Prachnio, I don't give a fuck who he fights. So, whatever. Next fight, waste of time. Boo. After that, another fight that was kind of fucking forgettable, man. I had higher hopes for this fight. I thought it could have been better, but it was not. As we have in our sixth fight of the night, Loma Lookboonmee versus Bruna, Brasil. Another just forgettable ass fight, man. Loma for about 15 minutes just outstruck Bruna. Bruna's game plan of trying to strike with Loma was never gonna fucking work. And for 15 minutes, it didn't fucking work. So, nice try, Bruna. But, yeah, Loma just outstruck her for 15 minutes. So, yeah, not very much else to say. I'll talk about Bruna first, because I don't got much to say. I do think she's a talented fighter. But A, they gave her a jump way too high. And B, her game plan was fucking stupid. So, I don't know. I think going from Shana Banan to Loma Lookboonmee is a little much, especially since she lost to Denise Gomes. So, I don't think Bruna's a bad fighter, but I don't think she's a ranked level fighter. I don't think she's even Loma Lookboonmee's level. I think she's a decent fighter who can beat bad fighters like a Shana Banan, Jinu Fry, Elise Reed, people like that, but she's not gonna beat Loma Lookboonmee or Denise Gomes. So, yeah, with her skill set, she's never gonna win those fights, in my opinion. Maybe not. Maybe she'll prove me wrong someday, but I doubt it. Sorry about my stuffy nose. To talk about Loma, yeah, it's Loma. We know she's a really good fighter, and she just adds to the list of wins. Like, this Denise Gomes is still her best win, which is not a great best win, but I don't know. I value Denise Gomes a little better than others. So, but she definitely needs that big statement win that she's just not got yet. She needs that big win, and Bruna Brasil ain't down. I don't know why they even gave her this fight. It made no fucking sense on paper. So, and I was overthinking this fight. All logic pointed to Loma winning, and she did. Like, in my mind, I was overthinking this fight, but then I really broke down logically. And like I just said, Shana Banan to Loma Lookboonmee, come the fuck on. So, I don't know, I don't know, this fight really annoyed me with how much I overthink it just for it to be pretty much what everyone and I even thought it would be to an extent, so whatever, good win for Loma, and yeah. The only thing left to say is who should they fight next, and this might be the first ranking we talk about, because I think Loma could fight for a ranking. I don't know who she could fight, but she could definitely fight for a ranking, or she can fight someone unranked. I'm not sure who that would be either. She already fought Angie. I don't think the Reach or Pinheiro fight. I like the idea of her versus Jillian Robertson. I think that'd be a really interesting fight. Their skill sets would be really interesting against each other. Well, her and I like the Jillian Robertson fight. I think that makes the most sense. Oh my god, her and Aspen Lucino would be a fucking goated fight, but that won't happen. I think I like the idea of her and Jillian. Loma definitely deserves a ranking fight, and I think Jillian would be the most logical one. I don't remember who I said Jillian should fight after the, after her last win. I'll go back and check and see if I agree with that still, but as of right now, I like this fight a lot. I think it makes sense. It's the ranking fight for Loma that makes the most sense. Yes, she can beat up one of the old ladies, but I doubt she'll do that. Her and Jillian I like. I think that'd be really a really good opponent for her. So, and I'm not seeing anything better. Either she already fought him or they've just lost. So, yeah, I like the fight. Loma and Jillian, book it. And then for Bruna Brasil, of course she's gonna get a step down as she should. She shouldn't even have got this big of a step up. So, but who could she fight? Diana Belbita if she doesn't get cut. Cheyenne Velismas, definitely an option. I'll say I like that Velismas fight. I think that'd make a lot of sense. Whenever Cheyenne does come back, which I'm guessing will probably be pretty soon, I think that would probably make a lot of sense for Bruna. So, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think, how are they going to book Bruna? Do they give her another, like, decent opponent, or do they give her, like, a fucking Marina Oliveira or some shit? I don't know. I'm going to say Cheyenne Velismas probably makes the most sense. Cheyenne's been off for over a year and is not a very good fighter. Bruna can probably and would probably win that fight. So yeah, let's do that. Cheyenne Velismas and Bruna Brasil. Makes sense to me. Let's do it. Yeah, not really much else to say about this fight. Very forgettable fight. Good win for Loma, I guess, but definitely not the most exciting fight to watch. And who should I fight next? I like Loma Lookboonmee versus Jillian Robertson, and I like Bruna Brasil versus Cheyenne Velismas. Loma and Robertson probably would be a pretty decent fight, to be honest. And Bruna Velismas, why not? So, so that's all I gotta say about that. After that, we had to our co-main of the prelim, which was very disappointing. But it does make sense why it was disappointing, because I'll talk about that in a second. After we had to our co-main of the prelims in the lightweight division between Bolaji Oki versus Timmy Twilight. Long story short, Oki just fought really smart for 15 minutes. He didn't go all out for the kill, and that's why it was a pretty boring fight. Like in round 1, he just outstruck Timmy easily. Round 2, it was actually a really good round for Timmy. He did win that round. And then round 3, Oki just came out, fought smarter, and got the win. So, not the debut I expected from Oki, but I do get why the fight was boring. He did fight really smart, and that's why he got the win. So, good debut for Oki. I do think he has talent. He's only 28 years old, very young. And I think he will get better. And he, again, to show that he can fight smart is a good thing to know. So, yeah. That's about the most I can say about this fight, because I don't care about, I'm not going to talk about Timmy Twilight. No one cares. He fucking sucks. Do talk about Bolaji a little more. I do think he has talent, and I'm very interested to see how he does in it. Like, I'm interested to see if this is how he would fight against Damir Hadzovic. I wonder if he only fought this way because he had very little time to train for Cuamba, because Timothy stepped in on like Tuesday. So I wonder if he did fight this way because of that, and if so, that even makes more sense. So whatever. Either way, good debut for Oki. And, by the way, a split decision, that's just fucking bullshit, man. That was a clear 29-28 Oki, but whatever. But, yeah, only thing left to talk about now is who Oki should fight next. I think there's probably a good option out there for him. Lightweight is a way deeper division than most. So it's just who could he fight? No one really popping out there. How about... You could rebook the Damir fight, but he'll probably just pull out of it again. Fuck. Yeah, shit. Mike Breeden, maybe? I don't really know. Maybe there's not a fight for Mike, because none of these are really screaming the fight to make for him. So, sorry about that. Yeah, I say probably just wait, and like maybe the best one I've seen is Zhang who won his contract, who got back in UFC off the road to UFC last week. So I don't mind that fight. I think that'd be a fun one. Besides that, I'm nothing screaming the fight to make. So maybe do Zhu Rong, but even then I'm not like jumping at that fight. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll find them better at a different time, but right now, the best I could see is Zhu Rong, so whatever. Not much to say about this fight. Two debuting guys. It could have been better, but Oki fought really smart, and he got the win, so yeah, not really much to say. Really no fight idea for Oki. Zhu Rong is a question mark, so who knows. Good debut for Oki. And then to close out the prelims, not gonna say much about this fight. The highlight was cool, but the fight was not, as we have in our featured prelim. Carlos Prates versus Trevin Giles. Very disappointing performance by Prates. Round 1, Giles picked him apart striking. Prates could not find his range or anything, and then round 2, much the same. Prates did wake up more throughout the round, and then eventually he hit Giles with the perfect straight left to knock him out cold. So Prates did get the win, but it was not impressive at all. You were losing to Trevin Giles. Come on, dude, do a little better than that. Good win nonetheless, good debut highlight, and yeah, very good, again, a good KO, but a bad performance by Prates. Could have looked better, should have looked better, you know the deal. So yeah, but besides that, I really don't have much to say about this fight. No fight idea for either, because Trevin Giles sucks, and Prates, again, I was not impressed. And, yeah, not right, like, very forgettable fight, and, yeah, good KO, but I want to see more from Prates. Like, you got a hand-picked, cherry-picked debut. You should look better than having to rely on a KO to win, because he was gonna go down 2-0 if that fight went into round 3, which is bad. Against Trevin Giles, could do better. So, again, cool KO. That's about it. But yeah, those were the prelims. Couple cool KOs like Amil, Bogdan, and Prates. The Max Griffin fight was okay. You can completely forget all of this, in my opinion. But, yeah, now let's move to the main card, which was okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. And not going to say much about the first fight here because very little happened. As we begin the main card with a fight that finally happened between Rodolfo Vieira versus Armen Petrosyan. Long story short, Vieira got the takedown after a while and subbed him. Wow. Armen couldn't stop Rodolfo's one fucking attack. A takedown and submission. God damn it, you fucking suck. I fucking hate MMA, man. Not much to say about either. Rodolfo's still Rodolfo. No striking, no gas tank, but I can sub you. Armen, how shit is Christian Leroy Duncan? Holy fuck. God damn, man. I got nothing to say about Armen, bro. Really? That's all I can say, really? Shaking my head. He was talking about who they should fight next. I don't care about who. I don't care who Armen fights. I'll give Vieira a fight idea. I wish Bo Nickel wasn't booked right now because him and Bo Nickel would be fucking awesome. But that's not gonna happen, is it? So instead, for Rodolfo, who could he fight? I forgot Petrosyan was even booked. I was gonna say Petrosyan. Jungyoung Park, maybe? Who did I say Park should just fight? I remember saying Park should fight some. Oh, Bruno Vieira. Yeah, I like that more. I like that Andre Muniz fight. I saw someone say that on, I think, Twitter or something. I like that fight. Muniz is not booked right now. I think that'd be a super interesting fight to see. Muniz and Rodolfo. Because nothing like Shara Bullet would be interesting, but I doubt it. I think Muniz and Rodolfo would make a lot of sense. Two guys, neither are good strikers. I would say Muniz is the better striker, and then the ground game between those two would be really interesting. So I like that fight. I think that's probably the fight I would say to do. Like, or you do Rodolfo and Jungyoung Park, but then who does Bruno Vieira fight? Because I think Bruno should fight Jung. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Rodolfo and Muniz. And just between Park and Muniz, who would I rather see Rodolfo grapple with? Muniz. So, yeah, I like that fight. Rodolfo Vieira and Andre Muniz makes a lot of sense. So let's do it. Yeah, very little to say about this fight. Rodolfo, takedown, submission. Ooh. So, yeah, only thing left to say is who should they fight. I like Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Muniz. I think that'd be a very interesting fight, and I'm down to see it. So, yeah. Good win for Vieira. God damn you. After that, we had to lightweight for a fight that shockingly went the way it should have went. I'm fucking shocked. We're not talking about a KO here. As we head to our second fight of the main card between Michael Johnson versus Darrius Flowers. I'm amazed Michael Johnson won this fight. I'm not even lying. I'm shocked he didn't get KO'd. I was fully expecting him to get fucking KO'd or some bullshit. Like, or submitted. Like, that's just a Michael Johnson route. The way he won this fight is how he should have won this fight. Pretty much. I didn't expect him to wrestle, but whatever. The fact that he won this fight is a little surprising because it's Michael Johnson. He loses fights he should win, and he won here, so I'm very happy for him in that regard. Long story short, the fight for the first round, he outstruck Flowers. In round 2 and 3, he did striking, and in round 2 was a mix of striking and wrestling, and then in round 3, he just wrestled him the whole time to get the win. Clear 327 for Michael Johnson, like, obviously. He almost got KO'd by a flying knee, but he took that into a takedown. So good on him there, and yeah, I'm happy for him. Happy he got the win here. He deserves it. He deserves it. Not gonna say anything about Darrius Flowers. He needs to be cut. His contract on DWCS was stupid. He looked like a bitch against Jake Matthews, and he lost to Michael Johnson in a fight Michael Johnson should win. cut. Come on, dude. But to speak about Michael Johnson again, who should he fight next after a nice win? He's still kicking at 37 years old. Happy for him. There's some good options for him out there, I feel. Probably I wish he could have got on 300, but that looks like it's off the table by now. So who could he fight? Vince Pichel's always a good option. T-Rex is always fun. Like Terrence McKinney is always a fun fight. Fuck, he could end the Patty hype, to be honest. I had Vince Pichel fight 2 OGs going at it. I'm pretty sure that fight never happened. Let me check. Did that fight ever fucking happen? No? Yeah, why not do that fight? Two OGs. I think it'd be, unless they train together or some shit, which I fucking highly doubt they don't. Yeah, I'm down with you, Michael Johnson, Vince Pichel. 2 OGs go at it, because I'm not really seeing much else I like. Like, you could feed him to a young guy like, let's say, Narulo Aliev, or someone like, or a Terrence McKinney, like, because as much as I do like that fight, most likely all that fight is Michael Johnson getting flatlined. So, yeah, I'm down with the MJ and Vince Pichel. I think that'd make a lot of sense. And it's either that or Terrence McKinney, but most likely McKinney. I think McKinney's like has a fight or is gonna get a fight. So yeah, I'm down to see Pichel and MJ to the OGs going at it. Let's do it, man. I like that fight. And then for Darius Flowers, as I said, he needs to be cut. So yeah. So, yeah, not much else to say about this fight. Happy MJ got a win he deserves, and who should he fight next? I like Michael Johnson versus Vince Pichel. 2 old dudes going at it. It's always a fun fight, and actually I think that'd be a really good fight since those two would want to brawl. So let's do it. MJ and Pichel, book it. 4 more. After that, we head to our third fight of the main card, which was alright, between Gregory Rodrigues versus Brad Tavares. Pretty much for the first 2 rounds, Gregory just easily outstruck Brad. Really, he was really in no danger at all. And then in round 3, he just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna end this fight." And in 55 seconds, he blitzed him and TKO'd him. So the stoppage looked exactly like Pierre Izzy won. So. And people will say that's a bad stoppage still when it wasn't, so. But, yeah, pretty simple fight. Gregory should have won this fight easily, and he did. And, good win for RoboCop, man. Not gonna say much about either guy. Tavares is old. He can still, like, he's a perfect dude for, like, PFL or some shit. Old dude who's not very good, but who could win over there. Like, he's just not a UFC level guy anymore. And the Weidman fight really showed that if Weidman knew how to fight out of his other stance, if he knew how to switch stance and fight the other way, he could have won that fight. But he knows how to fight one way and one way only. That's why he lost. So and when Chris Weidman coming off a leg break at like 40 is being able to do good striking against you, what the fuck is Gregory Rodrigues gonna do? What is RoboCop Rodrigues gonna do? And we saw that. So yeah. And then talk about RoboCop. Dude, he's a really well-rounded fighter now, and that's scary that he's well-rounded, because now he's always had good grappling. It's always been his striking that's been his weak suit at times, and that's looking great now. So his chin is still chinny, but what can you expect? So there's really no way to fix that. So just don't get hit that much. And in this fight against Pillow Hands Tavares, he was not gonna get KO'd. So. Yeah, good win for RoboCop, man. Good win over a veteran, and yeah. Only thing I'll say is who should he fight next? There's some options for him, I feel. For RoboCop, I saw someone say Chris Curtis. I really like that fight. I think that fight would make a lot of sense for him. Besides that, like yeah, I think that Curtis fight makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I say do that. 'Cause I'm not really finding, like, for RoboCop, I'm not finding any better fights. I don't know who Chris Curtis could even fight outside of that. He's not going to fight up. And, like, the only other guy is Ikram. Like, if you want to feed Chris Curtis to Ikram, but I feel like Ikram's going to get someone higher ranked, like, let's say, probably Bolaji or some shit. So, yeah, I like RoboCop and Chris Curtis. I think that would make a lot of sense. So, and probably be a good fight. Let's do it. And then for Brad Tavares, you can feed him to someone like a Shara Bullet, or him and Abdul Razak Al Hassan could be interesting. So, but you could feed him to like a lot of guys. Murdov has to rebook with what's his face. So I'm not sure what you do with Tavares. Like he's getting old, so you're gonna use him as cannon fodder at this point, I would think. So maybe I'm thinking, like, maybe there's a prospect I'm not thinking of they want to build up. But Sharbullet definitely fits that description the best. So, but I don't think they're gonna do that fight. So I don't know. I'm not sure what you do with Tavares at this point. So yeah. But besides that, fine fight. RoboCop looked great, and who should he fight next? I like him. I like RoboCop versus Chris Curtis. I think it makes a lot of sense. RoboCop versus the Action Man. That writes itself. And it just makes the most sense of a fight. I think both guys would be down to do it, and it would be a fun fight. So let's do it. RoboCop and Chris Curtis. Book it. After that, not going to talk about this fight. Don't know, don't care. You suck. You suck, and you're a bitch. Next, for a co-main event of the evening, a fight that sadly went as expected, as we have Dan Ige versus Andre Fili. Yeah, this was not very shocking. It started off pretty good for Fili. He was moving better, making Ige really putting Ige at a standstill. And then eventually Ige fucking threw a bomb of a right hand, dropped Fili, one more to put his lights out completely. That was not even fucking needed. And Dan Ige gets another win. Yeah, Dan Ige is the GOAT of fucking beating unranked dudes. Like, I made a meme on Twitter. Like, if you've ever seen that that weak dog and buff dog meme format, Dan Ige, when he fights fucking these unranked dudes, becomes the best fighter in the goddamn division. But the second he fights a ranked dude, he can't grapple, he can't strike, he sucks. It makes no fucking sense. Like, in his last four wins are unranked guys. All of his losses are to ranked guys. What the fuck? It makes no sense if you think about it, but whatever. He'll lose to a ranked guy next. I guarantee you I'm fucking right. So, yeah. And for Andre Fili, like, we all knew he's probably not going to win this fight. He's a journeyman. He's going to win some, lose some. Yeah, it's his 11th year in the UFC. We know what we're getting with him by now. He's a good fighter, and like, I'm a fan of Andre Fili. Most people are, but he was not going to win this fight. With how, like, in Nathaniel Wood fight, it showed, and a lot of other fights, he does get hit very easily. And against Dan Ige, you're gonna get KO'd when you get hit, and when he did get hit, he got KO'd. So I thought he would get KO'd, like, getting countered, but Ige just fucking threw a bang of a fucking right hand, and yeah, he called game. So yeah, not very much else to say. Besides, who does Ige lose to next? Because he's gonna probably fight up in the rankings. I'm not sure. Like Yusuf's book, Edson he already fought. Bryce he just fought. I guess Giga, but do I really think that makes sense? No. I think Giga should fight Emmett, so I'm not really sure who Ige fights. Like, Giga is the only one that would make sense, but again, he should fight Josh Emmett. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what you do with Ige in this regard. Maybe he fights another unranked dude, but I don't know. I'd probably say, I'm not sure. Is Giga, or I'm not sure. So whatever. Maybe if let's say Yusuf or Lopez pull out of that fight, he could step in, but I doubt that will happen, so who knows. And for Andre Fili, he'll go back to fighting unranked. I'm not sure who he'll fight, because I don't know how you really book a fight after this. But that'll be bounces back. He can bounce back, so yeah. Good KO for Ige, man. Definitely probably the highlight of the card. And yeah, good KO, man. Not really sure who he can fight. I wish I had an idea, but I don't hate the Giga fight, but I don't know. There's definitely not one that I'm like, ooh. Especially when, again, I realize Giga and Emmett. But to be honest, knowing the UFC, Emmett will probably fight someone different. So, I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, and I have no idea what they're going to do. So, maybe I will choose the Giga fight, but right now I'm not sold on it. So, yeah. But, great win for Dan Ige. And then to end the card, not going to say much on this fight, because it is very funny. But, yeah, Jack Hermansson versus Joe Pyfer. Pyfer's a fraud, man. God damn it. This is the same fight as Strickland and Booth. But this time, he didn't get finished. He just got decisions. Like, Jack Hermansson didn't even do anything special. He just fucking fought a basic fight, and Pyfer had nothing for him. So, whatever. Cleared 48-47. One of the easiest fights you'll ever score. And, yeah, good for Jack Hermansson. I don't think he's a good fighter. I still don't think he is. But he was able to just outclass this guy, his fraud. So, good on him for that. And it was funny. So, Joe Pyfer fucking sucks. No one cares what he does next. But, for Jack Hermansson, man, good win. And who does he fight next? He called out Imavov. A lot of people said the winner of this fight does fight Imavov. I'm okay with that, but I'd rather see Imavov fight Jared Cannonier. So, I'm not really sure who Jack Hermansson fights, to be honest. Maybe I'll see Imavov, but again, I'd rather see Imavov fight Cannonier. So, I don't know, I'll think on it. There's a lot of thinking to do. So, actually, probably the winner of Brennan Allen will fight Jared. Maybe, I don't know. It's middleweight's such a clusterfuck right now, no one knows what's going on. So, whatever. Good win for Hermansson. This was funny to watch, and Joe Pyfer fucking sucks. Very simple fight. Good fight, though. Boom. That was the card. It was a fine card. To go over how I did on picks, I went 7-14, 3 perfect, 455. I'm pissed off about a couple of these picks, but then others biased, and yeah, I'm not too shocked. So, whatever. Really, bare minimum, I should have got 8 right if I got Marcos. And then I should have got 9 right if I would have been unbiased and picked Ige, so whatever. Yeah, the most average night of picks I'll ever have. I'm not upset. I'm not happy. It's whatever. The bonuses were 4 performance of the night bonuses to Dan Ige, Rodolfo Vieira, Carlos Prates, and Bogdan Guskov. I would have gave a performance of the night to Ige and Guskov, and 5 of the night to Hermansson Pyfer. And there's really no clear 5 to 9 on this card. No fight was that great, but I think Hermansson did deserve a bonus for the upset, and that fight was not terrible. So I would give it to that, but at least Ige and Guskov did get bonuses, which I agree with. I don't agree. I'm debatable on this, and I don't agree with this since he looked so bad until the KO. But whatever. And then the only thing left to say is if you did miss the card, what would I recommend you rewatch? Amil, Guskov, maybe Wells, Prates' KO, Rodrigues, Hermansson, Ige. So probably these two, this, and then these debatably. But you can completely skip these 3 unless you care about a submission that much. If you want to watch Michael Johnson win a fight, sure, and then no, don't even waste your fucking time. So it was not a good card, but it was a whatever card. Probably the worst card of the year so far. Because to go back to what I was talking about earlier, at least the Imavov card had moments. You had the Sumagarimbo KO. You had moments. This card had the Fili KO, Hermansson fraud checking. That's about it. Like, Guskov and Amil were good finishes, and Prates were all good finishes, but are you like, holy shit to those, or are you just like, yeah, that was good? Like, Garimbo last week, which I keep pointing to because I think that was the moment of the card. You're like, holy shit. They're outside of Ige, which that was more expected. There's no holy shit moment. Like, a better main event. This card had a better main event on paper and in execution. But besides that, it was a longer card and it was a shittier card because a lot of, like, you had 3 fights in a row that were just boring. Like, it's just not a great card. And I hope 298 will give us our first good card in a minute because back-to-back underwhelming Apex cards sucked. So, I don't know. I'm excited for 298 next week, though. And I think that card will give us some life because 2 Apex cards in a row is like a kick in the balls. It just sucks. So, and they were not even good cards. At least Walker card was good. There were 2 very mid Apex cards in a row, and that's like, fuck, man. So, whatever. I'm gonna just look forward to 298 now and put this card in my rearview mirror. So, yeah. But nothing else to really say besides you'll hear from me again Friday 1 p.m. EST for a breakdown of 298, and hopefully I'll try my very best to not be late again. I promise. You'll hear a recap of 298 on Sunday 1 p.m. EST. So yeah, I'll try and get back on schedule with the recaps. I'm sorry for the late recap. Forgive me. But yeah, nothing really else to say, guys. Besides, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.